What up, gamers? Is your boy Will 777JP back at it again with another video. Now I'm just here currently playing the Night Witch on PS5. The game is on PS Plus. I actually been thinking about making a review for the game. Still haven't made up my mind for sure, but I'm really thinking about it. But either way, the real purpose of this video is, as you saw in the title, will Space Marine 2 change live service games forever? Question mark. And I was just sitting here. The reason I'm playing Night Witch is because kind of killing a little bit of time before Space Marine comes out in a few days. And I wanted to play a shooter, but nothing too big. And I came across the Night Witch. I own it. I've had it for about a year, but I haven't played it till recently. And while I'm out here just enjoying this game, thinking about all the things that this game has that I like, that I don't like, I started to think about Space Marine 2 and their quote unquote life service format. Now, obviously, the game is not out yet. We're still waiting for the game to come out, but we do know a lot about the game. And as I've been saying on Thrifty's podcast every Wednesday night, 8:45 p.m. Central Standard Time, which shout out to Thrifty. You should definitely subscribe to his channel and listen to the podcast. Is Space Marine really reminds me of the games that we used to get of old, and specifically the PS3, Xbox 360 era. That's what the game really reminds me of, and I've said this numerous times on the podcast on why this game has me excited. So basically, with Space Marines 2, what's going to happen is you're going to have a couple different ways to play the game. You'll be able to play the campaign. You'll be able to play the campaign via co-op with up to 3 players, and you are also going to have a multiplayer aspect to the game, which will be PvE or PvP. For those of you that don't know what PvE is or PvP, PvE means player versus everybody, or it's basically you and 3 or however many other players. And Space Marines, in regards to Space Marines 2, it'll be 3 players, and you guys will have some missions to accomplish, and it'll be player versus everybody, meaning the 3 players versus NPCs. And you will treat it like you would maybe a regular story campaign mission, where you guys compete, where you guys do the mission, you beat it, on to the next one. They're also going to have a PvP option, which is player versus player. And that is what you see normally with games like Call of Duty, um, Concord, games of that nature, where it's one player or a team of players versus another team of player. And that is what we've been used to as far as live service goes for a while, is the PvP portion of it. We've also got the PvE portion of it, like how we have with Destiny, right? Where is a group of players or individually, and you go up against the NPC and you try to get missions done, and you loot and you get upgrades, etc. Now, why do I think that Space Marine 2 will change the live service game forever? I think we've come to a point in time in gaming where people are fed up of the current live service model. They're too greedy. It's very, very pay to play, where you spend a lot of money, and people are now, they have their own PvP or PvE game that they have invested time and money into. So when a new game like Concord comes out, even though it is a very, very quality mechanic game, it's hard to bring people over unless the game has more than just mechanics, more than just being a polished game. It needs to have a lot more to attract these people, because you are spending time and money playing this game. And if you have hundreds of hours playing, for example, Overwatch, and you've leveled up your character, you've leveled up your weapons, to start over again in a new game, that game has to do something different. So the space is really getting claustrophobic. Now, Space Marine 2 has one of the big reasons that I want to get the game, besides that it looks badass, is back in the PlayStation 3, Xbox 360 era, the way that multiplayers work is you bought a game, right? And let's use a game that I just played recently, Resistance. With Resistance, the the campaign of the single player campaign was the the attraction to the game. That's the thing that got people to want to play and buy that game. But then, as an additive option, you also got the multiplayer PvP out of it, meaning you and a group of people could get together and fight against another group of people. But that was the addition to the game. It wasn't what the game is based out of. We started to see, live service games being the main focus, meaning there is no campaign, in the early 2000 teens. We started getting games like Fortnite, etc., and it took off. It really took off, and a lot of developers started chasing those type of games because there's a lot of money to be made. And over the last 10 years or so, we've had so many of these types of games that the space has become very hard to distinguish yourself from the rest. It's becoming hard to keep your player counts high, which you do need if you're a live service game, because when you log in, you don't want to be waiting minutes to start a match. When you die, you got to start again. You don't want to just be waiting 5-10 minutes to start another match and keep playing. So the live service game is in a critical condition in this industry at this moment right now, just because of those things that I mentioned. Those games have established fan bases that have been supporting them for a very long time. These fan bases have supported these games. They've invested in these games. Space Marine 2, with the format that it's coming out at, I think it's going to be a refresher for the industry, and I hope that it really reminds its developers of, hey, we really need to make a great game and then worry about the live service aspect of it, which I hope is what Space Marine 2 accomplishes. Now, I'm looking at this game right now. I apologize for that, but the main topic of discussion is the live service stuff. So I really hope that Space Marine does exactly that, because that's the way that I prefer gaming. I tweeted about this, or I posted about this on X before, which you guys don't follow me on X, go on there at Will777JP, is the best way to get a live service game or any game to be successful is to have people fall in love with a game. Come out with a game so good that people are begging developers to want more. And that's where you see expansion passes come in, expansions pass selling out the Wuha. That's the best way to do it, is to get the gamer to fall in love with your game, with the characters, with the story. People want more of something that's good. So if you can come out with a single player game that has an amazing campaign, is well written, the art style's good, people beat that game and finish it and they love it, you as a developer, you don't have to sit in a boardroom and try to figure out how to make more money. The people are going to tell you themselves, we need DLCs, we need more, content for this game, and they're going to beg you to spend their money. And I think that's what may happen. That's a possibility of what may happen with Space Marine, is because they are going to have all options readily available. I think that that's really going to entice developers to see the format and something that's feasible for their product. Now, with Concord, just to touch base on that a little bit, I played Concord during the beta, and when I played Concord, I said the same thing that a lot of people who are who bought Concord and are currently playing are saying this game is a quality game. It has that famous Sony polish on it. It runs very well mechanically. The game is solid, but you do have some complaints in regards to art style and a couple other things. The characters, people are saying that they're extremely boring, and that's not how you have gamers fall in love with your game. That is not how you get them to stay around and invest in your game. So the thing that I posted on X is that when Concord first started with their promotion cycle, especially at the last state of play, they did, I think it was like a 7 or 8 minute anime to introduce some of the characters and kind of introduce the story. That money would have been way better invested if they would have came out with a short campaign for the game. Something that's 3 or 4 hours, something that does the exact same thing. Introduce the characters, introduce the mechanics, introduce the story. Have people fall in love with the world, have people fall in love with the lore. And I think if they would have done that, the multiplayer option of the game would have been way more accepted, and who knows, it could even have taken the game into success that I think the game would have deserved. But what do you guys think? Am I right? Am I wrong? Am I missing something? What do you guys think about this video? What do you guys think about the things that I just said? Am I right? Do you agree? Hit the comments. Let me know what you think. Hit the like and subscribe. Share this video out. I have a goal to reach 100 subscribers by the end of the year, and I'm only going to get that with your help. The more subscribers I get, the more I feel encouraged to make more videos and talk gaming with y'all. Either way, thank you so much and keep it gaming.